Who here likes Stardew Valley?
I do.
I do. That's my body, gang.
I do.
Okay. Who here likes magic in the fantasy genre?
I do. Of course I do. Me, obviously.
Now, what if I told you guys that there was a Stardew Valley-like game that has these elements?
So you mean Sunhaven?
No, I'm talking about Fields of Mystria. Fields of Mystria has been my new recent obsession, and that's for good reason. Something about these cozy farming sim games really just hits a sweet spot for me, and I'm not sure what it is, to be honest with you guys. It could be my lack of human interaction. Fields of Mystria is genuinely one of the new most enjoyable games I've played this year alone, and I've played a wide variety of new games this year. Fields of Mystria calls itself a farming / life sim RPG, and on a surface level, you might think,
Dang it! It's another Stardew Valley clone. Why would I want to play this over Stardew Valley?
and I won't blame you for that initial impression. A lot of games on surface level that are heavily inspired by another game and take many aspects from it may come off as a knockoff and fail to have any sort of uniqueness to help it stand out. However, Fields of Mystria is one of the few games that is clearly inspired by other games and does not feel to have its own identity. This game is so much more different than Stardew Valley. Take it from someone who has about 400 hours in that game. And it's a fresh new take on the farming / life sim RPG experience, and it really feels that way when you play it for yourself. This game really does stand out, and there are so many features that really help Fields of Mystria accomplish that. Fields of Mystria leans a lot more in a fantasy type setting. I personally love the fantasy genre and everything that is involved with it, so I ate that up. There's magic and adventure, and the game has the same inviting charm as Stardew Valley. You move into a village called Mystria. Who would have thought? Oh my god. This village got destroyed after an earthquake had hit the village, and your job is to restore the town to what it used to be. And you restore the town to its former glory, all while doing fun things on the side, such as mining, cooking, fighting monsters, crafting, blacksmithing, gifting villagers, and building a relationship with them, and so much more. Man, I love these type of games that give you the freedom to do what you want and give you plenty of options. Something about that flexibility makes these type of games so enjoyable to begin with, and Fields of Mystria does it well. As someone who has a lot of playtime in Stardew Valley, with saves both in a vanilla world and a modded world, I seek that similar experience that I had when I first played Stardew Valley. Playing Stardew Valley for the first time was a surreal experience, and I wanted to see if there's another game out there similar to Stardew Valley that would fulfill my craving for the first time. Fields of Mystria did exactly that. The moment I played the game, I was instantly sucked in and welcomed into that new world. Before we get any deeper though, I do want to do a little disclaimer. Fields of Mystria is still in early access and is not full release yet. So if you are expecting this game to be complete on release, you might want to wait a bit longer. Hey, me personally, I wanted to play as soon as I saw it in the Steam store. That's just me though, but it is subjective, you know? Enough with the straight yap. Let's dive into the actual game. Fields of Mystria is so easy to get into, especially if you played Stardew Valley before. It eases you into a gameplay loop you're already familiar with, taking care of a farm and making money to reinvest into that farm, all the while doing other activities. However, Fields of Mystria not only expands, but also adds completely different features into the game that make the experience way more special and enjoyable. One of those features is magic. Oh my god, magic, I love magic. It almost seems like its main selling point. Magic in this game is kept super simple and easy to understand, while also balanced and grounded into the world. For example, there's a very basic spell you unlock, spoiler alert, I guess, nothing too big, that creates rain onto your farm, watering all your crops, so you don't have to slave away and use all your energy to water your crops individually. Once you do that, you now have more energy to use for other activities throughout the day. Huh? That's pretty nice. Another feature Fields of Mystria has is diving. You can find these deep looking water thingies throughout the map, and once you interact with it, you dive down into the water and retrieve your prize. These prizes can be archaeological goods or even just straight up regular fishes. This is such a cool mechanic, and I would have never expected it in a game like this. If anything, I feel like this proves that Fields of Mystria has some pretty exciting mechanics you might not expect. There is one last mechanic I want to touch on before laying off the subject, since I don't want to cover the entire game. You guys will be doing the exploration for yourselves. I just don't want to spoil it, you know? And that mechanic is oh, don't get too excited. It's just that you're able to catch bugs. I don't know, I just found it pretty cool. There's certain bugs out at certain times during certain seasons, and that's pretty exciting, and you just, you know, it's something to do on the side. Makes it different, you know? Now let's talk about how progression is in the game. Let's just start off with this. Progression is so enjoyable in Fields of Mystria. Not only is it enjoyable, but there are also a ton of things to progress in the game. At first, that might seem overwhelming, having so many things on your plate to progress, but Fields of Mystria makes it both easy and smooth. Sometimes you might not even notice that you are subconsciously working towards something in the game. The multiple things you'll probably find yourself progressing is the town and improving it, your farm and expanding it, and the leveling of your skills. That's the list of few. Progression is linear and straightforward and can be even done passively sometimes. In terms of progressing your skills, let's make an example. Let's say you are improving your skill of blacksmithing, which is vital to upgrading your tools and making better armor. Whenever you finish mining and you get the ore to convert said ore into an ingot, during the process you will gain these purple orbs. Now ask the question, what are purple orbs used for? Great question. These purple orbs are used as a currency to further upgrade upgrade whatever skill you were progressing in some sort of way. Since we were talking about blacksmithing, these purple orbs we got can be exchanged for certain perks, like shortening the amount of time it takes to make an item through blacksmithing, since it can be very time consuming and time is super important in these type of games. And that was only one example of a skill from a total of 9 skills the player has access to. That's a lot of skills. The skills are also another feature in the game that I enjoy so much. It allows for flexibility and even developing a certain playstyle to the game to a certain extent. Maybe you'll find yourself enjoying fishing in the game the most and you'd like to improve that in some sort of way, or maybe you're a cook and prefer cooking foods in order to get your energy back efficiently. Fields of Mystria gives you that freedom of being able to choose what skills you may want to progress, even makes it better through the progression system itself. As for what skills I had going on for me in my save, I ended up maxing out my blacksmithing skill and my woodcrafting skill is super low, since I'm not much of a decorator, as you could probably tell, and that skill is all about crafting decorations for your farm. Let's move on to town progression. Earlier, I mentioned that the village of Mystria was struck by an earthquake. No. It has lost its ranking, also called renown in game. One of the main objectives of the game for you as a player is to increase this renown, restoring the town to its former glory. The way you progress the town is simple, by either donating items to the museum, selling goods, and by completing requests given out by villagers. Over time, as you complete these quests or contribute to the town, you'll see great strides of progress being completed in terms of improving the town's ranking. Progressing a whole village is a very unique way to go about immersing the player into the community, and is slightly touched on in Stardew Valley, but Fields of Mystria takes it one step farther and expands on it. This is such a cool way to really allow the player to feel a part of this little town while also introducing them to the villagers. Speaking of villagers, hey, listen, we know one of the most important things about these farming sim games that integrate you into a community are the characters. Fields of Mystria's characters are good. They're charming, and I personally love the art style for the sprites of the villagers, and they feel much more alive since their mouths move when you talk to them. Oh my god. They feel grounded into the game like how a character should, and also have those cool little cutscenes you love from other farming sim games, really adding to the liveliness of these characters. Building a relationship with them is exactly the same as you would go about it in Stardew Valley. Give some stuff, pray to the gods that you're correct on what they want, or just hit the Wikipedia. The villagers in this game do an amazing job of making you feel like you're really part of their little town. I thought one of the coolest things ever was when I noticed that the characters had seasonal outfits. This is amazing. It really adds to the immersion of the game, and who doesn't love immersion? Don't say you don't love immersion, you're a loser. Now I know what's stashed in that little brain of yours. What about the romanceable characters? The romanceable villagers are cool and have their own unique personalities, but with the game being in early access, you may be a little disappointed, especially if you came with the thought you could fully romance characters right off the bat. Unfortunately, at the time I'm making this video, you cannot fully romance these characters. Most of the romanceable characters have a small amount of cutscenes, while other characters that are non-romanceable lack those cutscenes. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that these characters are not fully fleshed out since it's early access. But don't let that take away from the fact that these villagers have amazing sprites and animations, cool character designs, seasonal outfits, and lively, amazing cutscenes for the characters that have access to them. The characters in this game are amazing, and each one of these villagers have their own individual identities. They don't feel like clones at all, thank god, and there's clear potential for these characters to be expanded on even more in the future. Despite Fields of Mystria being in early access, there is so much content in the game already, and I can't wait to see what the developers at NPC Studio have waiting for us in the future. The people at NPC Studio have already dropped a roadmap on what updates for the game may look like in the future. The first major update is scheduled to come out in the 4th quarter of this year, featuring a ton of new additions. Some of these listed are more events for dateable NPCs, along with additional NPC dialogue, new enemies added to the mines, town level caps being increased, more skill perks, more player cosmetics, and many other features. Okay, that was a lot. I'm super excited for the future of Fields of Mystria and can't wait to see what the game becomes on full release. Hopefully, it doesn't end up as a rug pull cash grab. Fields of Mystria right now feels amazing to play and refined despite it being in early access, and I hope you guys give it a try at some point. It could be now, or it could be when the game is fully released, but you need to give it a try in your lifetime. Anyways, thank you guys for watching.
Wait, you didn't even go over the farming or mining aspects of the game. What do you think you're doing?
Oh, that's right. I just thought both the farming and mining parts of the game were pretty identical to how Stardew Valley's farming and mining function. Very straightforward and nothing crazy there. Anyways, with that out of the way, see you guys in the next video. Hey, say the damn thing.
Oh, subscribe.